Welcome back to another challenge. Today a little bit different, something that I haven't done before. I have scheduled a 5K PR run and my goal is to beat my Garmin. My Garmin tells me that I can run a 5K in 19 minutes and 51 seconds. Not sure if we can see it, but so that's a sub-20 5K. That's just below a 4 minutes per kilometer pace. It's gonna be a challenge. It's a fairly warm day, but it's a nice, beautiful track, 12.5 rounds. So let's see if I can beat a sub-20 5K. So I'm already warmed up, as you can see, started sweating a little. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have one gel now, and I will have a few sips of my electrolytes, and that will be it. I figured it's going to be a good idea to just do a little voiceover while I am watching the video with you, and just to go through a couple of points that I found important while the run and for the prepping of the run / the prepping for the triathlon that I'm doing right now. And also, just as a disclaimer, I haven't posted the full run. It is cut on a few parts. I thought it's going to be way too boring if I post a 20-minute video of me running laps around the track. So just like I said in the beginning, a 5K run is pretty much the only thing I haven't done yet. I've done the 10K, half marathon, marathons and triathlons, but an actual 5K time-based run I've never done. I only know the time that my Garmin watch suggests me, and it was a 19 minutes and 51 second prediction from Garmin that I thought is an interesting time. A sub 20 minutes 5K. It's a very competitive time, especially for runners that are not competing professionally. I think that's a benchmark that is tough to break, and I just wanted to give it a try because I have done, so my last intervals that I have been doing for the past weeks, they were always at a 410 to 420 minutes per kilometer mark, and sometimes I did 8 times 200 intervals, sometimes I did 3 times 8 minutes or 5 times 400. It really depends on the structure I used, but to run straight a 4 minute per kilometer pace for 5 kilometers, I haven't done yet, and that's what I tried. Now, the first kilometer is perhaps the most important one because you feel good, you're warmed up, your legs are fresh, and you know you have to run that steady pace. In theory, you have two options you could do. You could try to aim for that 4 minute mark pace and just keep it steady, or due to the reason that you're fresh in the beginning, you just speed up slightly to a 350 or 355 pace, knowing that you will drop a little bit towards the final 1 to 1.5 kilometers. However, that strategy it can be dangerous because you don't want to overpace right in the beginning. So I choose to just try to stay steady at a 4 minute per kilometer pace, and that's what I did here. Then the second kilometer hits. That's when your heart rate is already bumping up. I was pretty much the whole run between zone 5 and zone 4, more in zone 4 than in zone 5. So that's for me around the 170 to 175 beats per minute mark. So and once the second kilometer is done, this is when things start to get a little bit tougher, especially knowing that you can't drink and you can't eat. So obviously you cannot have any fueling during a 5K run because that's almost a sprint where you just don't want to stop. So I had one gel in the beginning, and I also had a good breakfast on that morning. I had my oatmeal with a bit of peanut butter, I had a coffee, and I had an extra banana on the way to the track with plenty of water. And the day before I didn't really do carb loading or anything because it's not a proper race, that's just a 5K. So I took it fairly easy on the prior days. But what's very interesting here at a 5K is also the mental capacity and the mental grit you need to show. That's why for me personally, when I run my first 10K, even though it's a shorter distance, I found it the hardest because you need to pace in the correct way and to be able to hold such a fast pace that it's more mental strength than physical strength. Because you can go easily through a 10K if you are a prepared half marathon runner, but it's just the pace you need to keep up is when things get really tough. And that's what I experienced here at the 5K. once you hit the 3 kilometer mark and you look at your watch and knowing, okay, I have now done more than half of the time and half of the kilometers I have to cover, but there's still a lot that is left. And I was very lucky on that day. As you can also see here in the video, there was almost no one else on the track. So I didn't have to go slalom through a few people. There were no kids. There was no football game on the grass. So it was really no distraction and therefore no excuses for me to make to not finish that run strong. I think one negative that I would say that I experienced, especially during the last 1.5 kilometers, is that my upper body wasn't as relaxed anymore in the end as it was in the beginning. So it takes a lot of effort to try to be loose also in the upper body and not to cramp up or to be too stiff. So I think that's something I can work on for the next time. Just try to loosen up a little bit. And that's also what I feel is very helpful also during my half marathons and marathons, is that during the run you just shake out a little from time to time. So you loosen up, you stretch and relax the muscles, and then you keep on going. Because if you just constantly in this pace, of course you get a stiff neck, your back is maybe a little bit hunched and you don't even realize it. You just keep on that position because you're so focused on doing one step after the other. And that brings me to the next point, which is the cadence. Yeah, so my stride. The distance that I covered with each stride has been not as consistent as I wanted to be. Some of my strides that were a bit larger and some of them were a little bit smaller, so I did smaller steps. But then I realized actually I should change to the tactic that I had before, where I just do my normal routine. Because I try to do quite long steps instead of short steps. But it's just there's a lot of things that go on while you're running, and it's just you cannot really think about it too much because you are just occupied. And then the last kilometer began, kilometer 4 to kilometer 5. And this is when the pace really feels unsustainable, and where I started to do a little bit of math because I was looking at the clock and started thinking, okay, I have 1 kilometer left, and I was at like the time was already 16 minutes, 16:30. So I knew I had to speed up a little because a 4-minute per kilometer pace wouldn't be enough anymore to reach that 20-minute mark. This is where things are getting very interesting, because then you speed up and you need to empty your tank to the fullest. It's just a head-on-head race in the end, especially with the last 200-300 meters, and the time when you see the 19-minute mark has been already passed and you still have a couple of 100 meters left. So you look at the clock and it's ticking and ticking, you start almost sprinting, at least in my case, because I was so close to the goal and I just didn't want to let it slip. So I just sped up as fast as I could until to the point that I can see I have reached the 5K in under 20 minutes. I have actually put a time and distance interval into my Garmin watch where it knew that I run a 5K, but what it didn't do is it didn't stop the activity at 5K. It just let it run, and I didn't know that. So it stopped. So it told me the time at the 5K mark, that it was 19 minutes and 52 seconds, but the activity just ran further. And this is when I realized that I have to actually stop it manually. So I stopped it and I ended up having run 5 kilometers and like 200 meters extra, and that unfortunately overreached the time of 20 minutes, obviously, for that activity, but I still passed the 5K in under 20 minutes, and that's what actually matters. So there's always new things that I learn about my Garmin and also about myself, but it was a good race, and now I know my 5K time. It'll be very interesting to hear from you guys what your 5K time is. Is it much faster? Is it much slower? Have you done it at all? Have you thought about it? I can definitely recommend it. It's a mental toughness game that you have to play with yourself. You gotta be prepared for it, but it's fun. It's such a nice thing to go all out. Within 20 minutes, you're done. You go home. You had a good, productive day. Get some good food, and you recover. This is a wrap. 5K is done. Now, most importantly, I did the 5K in under 20 minutes. However, the time was running, or rather the watch was running a little bit further. So it stopped at 5K and 300 meters or 30 meters, I believe. With all of that being said, I hope to see you again in the next video. Feel free to subscribe. There's more to come. My next triathlon is coming up in, well, right now in 3 weeks. By the time this video publishes, maybe 2.5, maybe 2 weeks. I'll keep you posted and let you know how it goes. Bye bye.